while. I had to kind of go back. I hope I hit where I left off. Christmas season, things going on, decorating, all of that. So it took me a little while to get back on track. And then I had a little technical difficulty because I'm so great with all of these camera sort of things. I tried to get it logged in, and I ended up, well, actually what I did was I was trying to edit and take off 49 seconds of one of the videos I did, and instead of, I took off all the rest of it and kept 49 seconds, so that kind of punched a hole in my, deflated my desire to get going really good, and hopefully that won't happen again. I think from the last time to my next entry into my diary or journal, a lot of time went by, and it was a good time. And just like everyone, you don't record the good stuff. You live the good stuff. You go ahead and just have a good time living your life. You just kind of go and go and enjoy a little bit of free time, enjoy a little bit of relaxation, a little stress off. And that was the time that JoAnn was there. Some funny things happened. Tell you a little bit about JoAnn. JoAnn stayed for about, I guess, 6 months. We were expecting her to stay to the end of my mom and dad's life. That didn't exactly happen. But JoAnn was probably in her 70s, and I might be even giving her a little credit there. She was a little short-legged, but she was strong enough and to be able to do most everything. One thing that didn't ever really come up in conversation, so I didn't know it, no one knew it, was I never saw, but I hear she was bald. I'm not sure why she was bald, but she was. And she wore a good wig because no one really knew until my dad was frightened by a little bald lady in the middle of the hall on the way to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And didn't know who this outsider intruder was, and I guess it was a bit of a startling situation for a little bit of time, but they made it through that. She also had come from a very, very hard background herself. She had lived a very hard life. Her husband had been abusive. Her kids had a lot of mental and physical ailments and disabilities, and she had struggled financially in her life. I guess held at gunpoint out in the middle of a farm somewhere by her husband. So she had her own stories to tell. She enjoyed every Thursday or Friday. Tad and Susan would stop by. That was my mom and dad's pastor and his wife. Wonderful people, and they just would come, and they were blessed as much as they blessed my parents. It was their time to sort of kick back and relax and listen to my dad's wisdom, and just enjoy their company as a couple. No big feeling that they had to minister in a certain way or anything. It was just a time to pray and share what was on their hearts, just talk about nothing, or share something that they were excited about in the Word. It was just a really good time. And JoAnn enjoyed coming and being part of that and just listening, sometimes sharing her stories, and sometimes we would be a little shell-shocked at the end of it all because of some of the things that she shared, just so matter-of-factly, that were would be quite devastating to anyone that had to deal with it. And Tad got the privilege of getting to lead JoAnn to the Lord. She had been to church most of her life, but she didn't have a real security in her heart where she was going to go. And Ted said, you can know this. All you have to do is ask Jesus into your heart. He wants to be with you more than he wants you in heaven more than you want to go yourself. So, he's more than willing, but he just is a gentleman, and he's waiting for you to ask. And so, just for the assurance of her salvation, she was able to pray the sinner's prayer with them, and it was a blessing for everyone involved. Like I said, we thought she would stay for many more months than what she did, but caregiving is stressful, and I think my parents in many ways were easy to get along with because they were peaceful and not real physically demanding at that time as compared to how they became later. But it's just, I don't care how sweet and how nice anyone might be, it is always an emotional strain. And also, JoAnn had her own home in Salina, which is about 36 miles away. And we think of that as a blessing. She had a place to go on her days off. But it sort of ended up being a little bit of a detriment because she had that pull. She's got a home. It wasn't like, oh, gee, you're doing me a big favor, giving me a house to live in, because she already had a house to live in, and one that she had to take care of, and one that she had to maintenance, and one that she would go home to. Her children were living in the home, but they had their mental and physical issues, and so she would go and have to unravel a lot of problems at home when she went home. So there was that tug back and forth. She felt like she should be there, and yet she was working for my folks. We tried to make it as pleasant as we could for her. I know that we hired another housekeeping lady to come in once a week. We hired somebody to give Mom a bath, Mom and Dad a bath, so that JoAnn wouldn't have to. We kept trying to make the job more and more enjoyable and easy for her. But time went on, and she ended up giving us a notice, and that was on September 1st. And it says, 2 days ago, JoAnn gave her 2-week notice.